Welcome to Thriller Recaps. Today, I am explaining the movie, Even Lambs Have Teeth, explaining every scene as it happens. Watch till the end, and please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this. In the middle of nowhere, Sloane and Katie were with a group of other teenagers playing a game. At first, Katie didn't want to join, but Sloane convinced her. She grudgingly joined but refused to do drugs with the others. However, soon, they all got high. Sloane and Katie went back home to Katie's mom, excited about their upcoming shopping trip to New York City next month. Katie's mom came into the girls' room to ask about the organic farm they planned to work on. She seemed impressed by their choice. The next day, the girls prepared for their journey to the farm. Their uncle, Jason, offered to take them to his place. On the way, Sloane talked with Jason, asking about his relationship status and his job. At night, the girls made up new names they'd use at the farm. The morning after, Uncle Jason stopped with the girls at a bus stop. He decided to leave after the girls told him to, even after offering to wait with them. Before he left, he told Katie to call him. She promised to text. The girls headed to a coffee shop where Sloane asked to use the bathroom. When she came out, two men engaged them in a conversation. They told the men they'd be working at an organic farm so they could go shopping in New York City. They introduced themselves using the names they'd agreed on. We learned the men's names were Jen and Lucas. Jen then offered to drive them to the farm. Katie at first refused but had no choice when Sloane decided to go with the men. Instead of stopping at the farm, the men drove past it. Sloane noticed this and immediately spoke. The girls got a bit scared and held hands as Sloane asked if they'd turn around somewhere. The men then drove the girls to their home. Jen convinced the girls that the farmers came there, and he just wanted to get them acquainted with the area. Soon, an old woman walked out and offered them pie and tea. She promised to walk the girls to the farm after they had tea. The girls walked in still cautious of their surroundings. They, however, decided to have the pie and tea with the old lady. Uncle Jason messages Katie, asking if she's alright. She replies affirmatively. The old lady serves them, and they dig in almost immediately. Soon, the men walk in, and the girls realize the pies were drugged. Before the drug affects them fully, the girls run out. The men chase after them and successfully catch up with the girls as they pass out due to the drugs. The day after, the girls wake up to find themselves chained in a container, naked in the woods. They begin to panic as they scream, hoping someone would hear them. Gene screams with them sarcastically, and tells them no one can hear them as they're in the middle of nowhere. He tells them things would happen, and they should get used to it. He tells them to be comfortable with where they are and provides an outdoor shower for them. Days later, the girls, now calmer, get a visit from an old man who asks to look at them. He apologizes to them, saying it's his job to make sure they're healthy. He tells Katie Jason has been texting her and decides to reply to the text himself. He then asks for their real names, and Katie confesses. Another man joins Jean and the girls, pretending to be their rescuer. He begins to laugh as he notices the girls feeling safe with him. Jean locks the girls in a trailer while the man does the do with Katie. He comes out minutes later, smiling to himself. After he leaves, Sloane goes to meet Katie, who's in tears and shivering. In Jason's house, he sees the message from Katie saying everything is fine. He then begins to worry as she uses the same code she'd used for their first text. He feels it's suspicious, but his girlfriend assures them they're fine. Days later, another man asks for Sloane. He beats her when she resists, then uses a cigarette but to burn her belly button before doing the do with her. Still worried, Jason tries to reach out to the girls. Still in the woods, the girls are facially covered with black bags as a man with a pig's mask approaches them. As he reaches their side, the bags are removed, and the pig-headed man points at Sloane. He takes her into one of the containers and does the do with her. Once he leaves, Katie finds Sloane in tears with the pig's mask over her head. Jason goes to report the missing girls to the sheriff. The sheriff tries to pacify him, but Jason tells him he thinks they've been taken. The sheriff promises to do something about it, and tells him to go home and rest. Back in the woods, Gene and his men plan to get rid of Katie and Sloane and find another victim. Meanwhile, Jason goes to the coffee shop where Katie and Sloane were last seen. The man tells Jason some men had picked the girls up and describes how they looked and the vehicle they came in. Soon, Sloane and Katie begin to plan their escape as Sloane tells Katie the men are planning to kill them. Not long after, Gene and his men drive into town to get more girls. They leave one of the men with the girls, and Sloane manages to seduce him. She pretends like she'd kiss his neck but instead ends up biting him to death. The sheriff, who is later portrayed to be working with the kidnappers, tells Gene to get rid of the truck and that he'd be arriving to pick up the girls soon. He gets to their location only to find the girls gone and a dead man. While he isn't watching, the girls get into his car and are able to escape. They then head to a convenience store to get axes, nails, tennis balls, and other materials they plan to use in murdering the men. The man at the counter seems shocked but decides to work with them. They ask for Burris, one of the men who'd kidnapped them. Jason goes to an insurance company asking for the owner of the truck that was used in kidnapping the girls. Burris drives to his home. He tries to settle in when he hears music play. He sights the girls and Sloane angrily throws a bunch of nails glued on a tennis ball into his left eye. Katie and Sloane then throw more nails at intervals, fatally injuring him. They then tie him to a table. He offers them money, asking to be released. Jason finds his way to Burris's home while the girls torture him, asking for the man with the pig mask. He evades the question, and the girls kill him. Jason hears him scream and walks into the house only to find him fatally injured. The girls had already escaped with the truck. Burris later dies. Jason meets with the sheriff and calls Katie's phone again only for it to ring from the sheriff's pocket. Seeing he's been exposed, the sheriff points a gun at him. The girls drive to a church where they notice a priest. They look at him for a while before pretending to drive away. Sloane goes back in with a bat to confront the priest. The priest tries to confront her, but Katie hits him from behind with a bat. The girls continue their journey. They already have the priest tied to the back of the truck so his body can be dragged as they drive. They stop at a store to get matches. They pour gas on him while the priest laughs and recites some parts in the Bible. They burn his body. The sheriff gets Jason kidnapped, threatening to kill him. He leaves Jason and ties up other girls when Katie appears behind with Sloane. They incapacitate him and tie him up. Katie and Sloane offer him their hands to pick one. He chooses a bullet and 5 shots. Katie pretends to shoot him, so does Sloane. They continue toying with him till they get to the last shot. They trick him again, and when he tries to apologize, Katie shoots him in the head before getting the other girls who'd been kidnapped to free Jason. The old woman from earlier, all alone at home, suddenly slumps after taking a glass of wine. The girls walk in and tie up the lady. They tell her they drugged her the same way she did. They show her Jean, whom they torture in her presence. Using a bat, they break Jean's legs before hitting him hard multiple times till he dies. The woman promises to kill them. They wheel her to Lucas, her other son, who begins to apologize and confess he wasn't interested in kidnapping them. They give him a bat and tell him to hit his mother with the bat, threatening to kill him if he doesn't. Lucas refuses to do so and he gets shot, faking the scene to make it look like suicide. The lady offers her money like the sheriff and Burris had. Sloane then unties the woman. Days later, Jason drives home to his girlfriend. Katie and Sloane, now back home, make their way to the airport for their trip to New York. The movie ends showing a man in glasses welcoming 2 girls who'd agreed to work on the organic farm. Subscribe for more daily videos. Your support, likes, shares, and subscriptions mean a lot. See you in the next video.